does the pollution and sometimes the environmental abuse, kind of ramp up the probability of it occurring in places in addition to the wildlife and the wet markets?
Well, there are places that we would classify as hotspots that, viruses can circulate anywhere, but where they're most likely to spill over, that's a different story. Where is it that we're likely to see a virus circulating in a wildlife animal spill over into human population? And there's been a lot of work done over the last 20 years, understanding what underlies the spillover event. And it's allowed us to zero in on certain places in the world that we would classify as hotspots. And those are the places you really want to pay attention to. It has the greatest probability, not exclusive. There's always the outlier. But if you really want to understand where it's most likely to occur, follow the evidence that speaks to the underlying drivers for spillover. And I'll give you some examples. First off, you need a place where there is viral diversity. And viral diversity is frequently associated with mammalian diversity. So where you have rich mammalian species diversity, you're likely to find a range of viruses. Secondly, where those mammals that are infected with viruses, the subspecies, there are 5,000 plus mammalian species out there. Which of the species, are they all equal in terms of allowing for a spillover event? And what we found, it's really those species that have high interactive engagement with human populations or livestock. Lots of species rarely interact, rarely come close, but there are certain ones, and the thumbnail sort of summary is rats, bats, and non-human primates. Those tend to be most implicated because they tend to have learned how to cohabitate within ecosystems that we occupy. So if you go to those places where viruses are circulating and those species that have high frequency interaction, and that there are population pressures that are driving people or livestock in closer engagement with those populations, then you're most likely to see opportunities for spillover to occur. So, again, the rule of thumb, population pressures, mammalian diversity, high frequency interaction, and where land use change, where we're changing and disrupting the natural ecosystems. So it's those species that we would call generalists, that they have the ability to adapt anywhere, as opposed to those species that have a very narrow habitat range. So as we increase our footprint and induce landscape change, we're really driving forward the influx of generalist species that tend to have high frequency, rats, bats, and non-human primates.